We have come back to NASCAR Adrenaline as we're going to be doing for such as a little bit stuff. But last time we have done here for the 2012 Cup, and looks like we're absolutely not doing for such as insane. Let's do for the 2020 Cup, and absolutely I have done here for just a little bit that we absolutely finished at this moment. As first, we're going to be doing for a 1990 Cup, as we're going to be using for the number 9 Bell Elliott, as we're going to be doing for a little bit once. As we're starting for our first couple of miles by using a Ford Thunderbird, as we're speeding away towards the 1990 Cup, looks like for the number 3, which is absolutely for a Dale Earnhardt style, and Rusty Wallace is absolutely going to be using for only the number 2, as even though as Pontiac looks like it's even a concept that using for some kind of using for Pontiac Grand Prix, as by using number 28, which is the even heavy brief fire, as well as we're going to be using for the 1990 Cup. Looks like we're using for number 5, as we know it that we're going to be speaking out for this one, but I'm probably going to be using for like this one. As we're going to be using, we don't have to insanely going to be retiring for just a little bit, but as you can see, this car backfires itself, and we're about to, here we go as well. As you can see, this car just backfired himself, and it does not comply that we're going to be doing for such as over 210 miles an hour. If this car is reaching for over 210 miles an hour, which is the most fastest car in the world, and that sounds pretty loud as well, as we're going to be speaking around for this away. For a top speed, this is absolutely going to be topping speed of the NASCAR sound as well. As using a blasting away for some kind of 200 miles an hour, I need to get closer for my microphone, which is in order to get away from this one. As we're going to be heading out for our top speed humor, is 211 miles an hour, which is going to be insanely quick as well. And that was the same speed as Jackson Storm that we're going to be storming out there in Talladega, as we're going to be doing for a little bit of uptime speeds and exceeding to lap number 1. As we're going to be heading on to that, we're already inside of lap number 2. This is where the top speed humor goes on 210 miles per hour. That was going to be extremely dangerous whatsoever. If I just entering inside of that one vehicle, this is absolutely quite of just extremely loud, but extraordinary to top speed. And a lot of things is going to be doing for itself for a 210 miles an hour, which is absolutely pretty insanely good. That was almost 10 miles away from 220. 220 miles an hour is exactly we're going to be hitting out for top speed, as the Lamborghini Veneno as to do like this as before. On lap number 3, we have completed other against the lap times as well, but NASCAR races should be held in a day, which is absolutely quite just a little bit fun, but looks like in only some kind of held by days, as the sun is going to be setting around. But this time, in our next generation terms of chassis, we didn't absolutely going to be doing for our only one purpose of legaciness of one-of-a-kind top speed humor for 210 miles an hour, which is extremely top speed of and over 200 miles an hour using by the 1990s car. It's a 1992 car, that whatever it is. Days of Thunder is absolutely pretty quite more insane, but not insane enough. Just like it's gonna be extreme, extraordinary actions, not the Winston Cup as well. In lap number 4, we should absolutely gonna be doing licks a little bit for just doing like this time. For over 1 minute for this time. And exactly, we cannot able to reach for over 200 miles an hour. As we expected to hit for over 200 miles an hour, it was absolutely quite just an extreme amount of fun. But looks like we're going to be doing whatever it is. And the nighttime has struck. And looks like we must to return back into the pits, because it was absolutely suddenly, it was too late to get onto the race at night. Unless we have lights down here into the speedway, and the crowds won't able to get more at this self. While I was qualifying for more itself, that is going to be heading around fun as well. let's do for our last couple of laps as well. As we're inside of lap number 5, should be going to be entering for a much night. The moon shines, just absolutely glazed itself that we're going to be doing for a little bit once. As we're not doing for the outside or the inside, that should put me inside of danger or humor as well. The moon shines a little bit that we're going to be heading back into the pits. Now exactly we're going to be doing for 24 hours of Le Mans. Even though this is some kind of a little bit of mistake, until I must return back into the pits, as we never know it that we're going to be hitting around straight until we head down into the pits and lap himself for our first time and the last time that we did for absolutely for a 24-hour qualify, 24 hours inside of Talladega. Looks like that was absolutely pretty good though. When I would just return back into the pits, I'm pretty sure it's time to get back into the pits, but looks like this is our time that we're going to be slowing down against our backfire this self. Looks like we're going to be slowing down, as sounds like an enormous devil, and the acceleration of this car, which sounds like an dear devil itself. Looks like this sounds kind of extremely loud, but I'll jump out of this vehicle and despawn for a little bit much time now. It looks like this is the 1988 Cup, newly added for just a little bit of thing, as we're going to be using for a Kyle Petty. Now, for this one is absolutely going to be using for the number 21. We'll be going to be doing insanely. This is Kyle Petty that we're going to be doing a little bit for number 6, and another one is the number 7. Looks like we absolutely going to be never doing like this before, as we're going to be doing for the 1988. As we're reaching down into the front for the 1988 as this one. And where is the number 2? We don't absolutely going to be using for the Richard King Petty as well. At least to some kind of the Game Pass or something. And even its return, that is the Pontiac Grand Prix that we're going to be using for the number 88 for the Nationwide Cup as well. As we're going to be doing for once again. And we don't think we absolutely came up insanely for the number 88. This is the Oldsmobile. And looks like we're going to be doing for the number 83. Let's do for the Kyle Petty as well. That is the Austin Dillon. I made sure that I'm going to be driving like this before. As we're going to be doing inside when some kind of one vehicle that sounds roar into the 80s. Looks like the car has just disappeared itself. Looks like we're going to be jumping into one piece. Overall, this is kind of a little bit dangerous. I cannot even do it. When I was going to be entering inside of the car, hey, this is some kind of just a little bit for one time. And let's move on into our last couple of decades in 1990s Cup, which is absolutely for a great job. That sounds like an enormous devil sounds. In the 1988 Cup, this is absolutely for the legacy in to do so. And the top speeds is going to be over 280 miles an hour. It should be going to be over 210 miles per hour. And the final of the top speed is 213 by the 1980s, which is going to be extremely fast whatsoever. And that was very awesome as well. As we're going to be doing for our top speed humor, which is absolutely kind of not allowed to go in Le Mans as well, because due to some kind of extreme of top speed, an outlaw situation as such as similar to the 1980s Generation 3 cars were absolutely extremely fast whatsoever. And because of this one, as we're heading on to lap number 7, as we're doing like this as before, we're going to be end of this video as we're going to be come into for straight, as some of these cars for the 1980s will be raced and held in today. Looks like this is absolutely pretty fun though, as we're heading into top speed. If our moon sets is absolutely for top speed, looks like I'm just dreaming about getting into over 200 miles per hour into Tower of Frozen Waves, and I touched the yellow line as the darkness has been continued to gun as before like this. The sun shall be went up for this moment before the moon sets. It was absolutely pretty dark as well. In order to get things up at place, we have to finish all 10 laps. We absolutely never say about this one, as we're going to be before that, we're going to be reaching up to over 200 miles per hour as well. This is how we're going to be hitting out for over 200 miles per hour. Is a good opportunity to reach our spelled and extremely amount of top speed that was even most likely outlawed as well. As we're putting our ways for ourselves for a 200 miles an hour, it's a glad myself for a wonderful morning itself because of roadblocks that absolutely look like this, and absolutely for the beautiful natures like these ones. And I cannot able to see about this one, as we're going to be doing for a top speed humor. And our racing lights turns out, as we're going to be doing a lot of speed, and even for touching the yellow lane, which is resulting for a 12 seconds amount of penalty, giving myself a lot of penalty for this time. But 2 laps to go in this morning. Looks like we're heading down into this one. As before this, I might going to get understeers a little bit allegedly. This sounds like it's going to be a little bit aggressive for this one. It's going to be doing for a top speed of 210 and 211 miles an hour. This is absolutely going to be doing for a lot of 24 hours as this one. As we're going to be doing for such as a little bit until the final lap streaks that we're going to be doing such as a little bit for this one. As we're finishing onto ourselves for a final lap, as you can see around the lap time board, which is absolutely going to be winning for under 50 seconds, which is a 54 seconds time that we absolutely never have for this kind of lap time. And the white flag has even absolutely exploited for the final lap until the finish. I'm not doing for some kind of exploit speed as well, as we're going to be doing like this, going down into some kind of Helens or some kind of unreliable staff as this one. Make sure that you leave a like and subscribe at this game and into my new video as well. In this video, we are taking exactly, we're going to be doing like a top speed for over 200 miles per hour. When you're a bad guy that you're having like this one as the 1980s NASCAR vehicle, which is insanely amount of time that we're going to be hitting us into 211 miles an hour, which is exactly is a top speed is exactly we're going to be doing for itself. And the check for flags and no exploits whatsoever. And it's time to head back into the pits. Since I'm bringing home with this car, it's time to see the results of the lap times. I must decelerate for one time. Almost missed the spawn. And we don't absolutely have for some more lap times. As we can see around the lap time board, as we look around to see about the things as we jump out of the car and despawns itself. As you can see, that my lap times is going to be under 50 seconds as well. Even possible, where is my fastest lap time whatsoever? Which is going to be the fastest lap time is 51.246, which is the most fastest lap times that you might ever expected, as even though that I just won't able to get exploited for this one. So anyways, if you enjoy for this one game for this kind of legacy in Talladega, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and click that bell. Thanks for watching, and this game is linked in description down below. As always, stay sideways, not sideways, for only stay on the side of the line, and I'm gonna be see you around inside of the next track. And which will be Tipper Concept signing off, and I'll talk to you guys all later.